you.
So do I. But you are still host because Tazi Giver is absent, unfortunately.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm the one to hosting again. Supposed to be, it's her turn today, but maybe she is busy, so that's why she can't make it.
Uh-huh. And she's working or she's studying, because I don't know how old she is. She looks very young, but for Asian people, for European, always looks very young. So you do. You look like a girl.
Yeah, I think she is just 20 plus, 20.
Mhm. So she's studying, I think.
Yeah, no, she's also working. I think she works in the company, traveling agency. I'm not sure. And I think nowadays she's really busy because she won our challenge before with Ravaka challenge. And I think she is really busy because she's studying with that maybe award because they are going to have an online classes with a native speaker. So yeah, I guess that's why she.
So the awards were classes with native speakers, yeah.
Yeah. I think just only a month with pronunciation and speaking. Yeah, it's really good.
And who sponsored this awards? Because
Ravaka. Yeah, she sponsored this award. I'm not sure how did she do it. I think she bought some what's that? Online classes and then hello.
Hello.
Hello, Princess.
Hello.
Welcome to our live weekly meetup.
Hi.
Yes.
Hi.
So,
your connection isn't very quick, you know. I think that could you improve something?
The signal on my cell phone is not good. I don't know. Maybe it's the I'm in a room with not good signal. Yeah. So can you hear me?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool. Okay. Hi. Yeah.
So the other challenge has finished. So you are here because you are in the need of the challenge. I see.
Yeah. It's the first time I talk to you. I know you before for a while. Since the Stephanie challenge and since our Fluency Breakthrough Rise Again challenge. Yeah. But I never have a chance to talk with you guys.
Nice to meet you. It's nice to meet you. I know you. I know you also.
Nice to meet you. Yeah.
Okay. I see. I think you won the contest from Ravaka Challenge. I think you have awards from her. Do you also taking classes from the native speaker nowadays, or are you having classes from native speaker? I think your connection is getting low. Can you hear me?
He is looking like sleeping.
Yeah. You're freezing. Hello, Jermaine. Welcome back again. Frances.
I cannot hear you.
Oh, you can't hear me? How about can you hear me, Tom?
I can hear you. I think that the individual issues on the other side.
Okay. Let me adjust my my network. I'll be here in a minute.
Sure. Take your time. So, Jermaine, welcome back to our live weekly meetup. So, how is it going?
busy the whole day doing something else, so I submit my video pretty late.
Huh?
Could you make something to be a little louder because
Yes.
we don't hear you?
Okay.
Yes, your volume. Can you please make it louder?
I say I'm busy with something, occupied with something in the whole day.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm occupied with something in the whole day. Therefore, I submit my video just before the start of.
We can hardly hear you. We can
Hello,
hardly hear you.
how are you?
Okay, I'll see what's the problem.
Yeah, yeah. I think you have to use microphone so we can hear you, Jermaine. Your voice is so low. We couldn't hear you. Hi, Zoo. Welcome back to our live
Is
meetup.
it better now? Is it better now?
No,
Better
no,
now.
it's not better. It's not
No.
still the same.
Yeah, still
Yeah,
the same.
I am.
Okay, Zoo. How are you, Zoo?
We cannot hear you. We cannot hear you.
Zoo, please turn on your microphone.
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
sorry.
Good.
Yeah, now you can hear?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Finally.
Nice to meet you, everybody.
Yeah, nice to meet you. So we have new challenger, Frances. Maybe
Yeah.
you already know him also from the Stephanie Challenge and Ravaka Challenge.
Hey guys.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sultan. So we have new also here, Sultan from India.
And
Guys, nice to meet you all
Not India.
here. So
I'm from
glad to see
Bangladesh.
Sudan.
you.
Yeah, Sudan, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks. I'm from Bangladesh, not India.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
Yes.
Bangladesh. You're
Yeah.
from Bangladesh. I see. All right, guys. So, have you seen our today's topic?
Yes, of course.
Oh,
We have done our homework.
oh, that's great. So, did you prepare your answer?
Could I start for the first question? To answer the first question,
Uh-huh.
what is a generation gap? It was the first question, and the difference in attitude amongst the people which are in different age, which are which belongs to different generations, leads to misunderstanding. So this is the definition of generation gap: difference of attitude between people of different generations.
Yeah.
So this leads to misunderstanding amongst people. So that's it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree. Yeah. How about Frances?
yeah. Okay, I agree with Tom said. Yeah. In a simple word, I think it's just some very popular things, or young generation they prefer, they like it very much, but our old generation, it's very hard for them to understand, and sometimes they don't willing to understand you, and sometimes uh, uh, they forbidden you to do such things. I think the generation gap is very common in our culture.
Yeah, 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 absolutely. How about Jermaine?
Yeah,
How
I'm
about
still
you?
trying to use my microphone. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, I can hear you, but the
Yeah,
sound is very low.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Can you please high your volume?
You should be shouting to us.
You should louder. Yes.
you guys goes on first. I try to find out the problem.
Okay, go ahead, Jermaine.
Yeah, you guys go on first. I try to fix the problem.
Okay, so how about Zoo? Do you have any additional?
Yes. Yeah. The generation gap is it disconnects between the member of the one generation and the member of the next based on the later generation. Yes. Developing habits, attitudes, and preference yeah, inconsistent with the experience of the other experience of other people generation. Yeah, I mean it's referred to the uh, the different ways of the thinking and behavior.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, behaviors that consists between older people. Yes, consistent to be from the uh, the earlier generation and the younger people that consistent to be from the later generation. Yes, yes, it's to be the this often leads to the understanding, the lesser understanding, communication. Yes,
Communication.
yeah, between people of different generation, I guess.
Mm-mm. Yes. All right. So how about Sultan? Are you still there, Sultan?
Yes, I'm there.
I'm here. Okay, you're there.
Can you hear me?
So what do you think about generation? Generation gap.
Generation gap.
Yeah, generation
Generation,
gap.
yeah, the gap of opinion of different generation. The opinion may be political or maybe religious or maybe moral values. This kind of opinion actually you may find some differences among different generation. For
Mhm.
example, if you consider political view or moral values of me and my father, he will find some difference between us. So I think this is the generation gap, and this concept is not very old. This is very new. I think, as per my knowledge, it comes in the middle of 19th century. So there are lot to study, and in future we will find a lot of uh, example or lot of different things regarding generation gap.
Uh-huh. Okay, thank you, Sultan. All right, so let's welcome to our uh, Subin. Subin. Today we are talking about generation gap.
I think I must have generation gap with you guys.
Uh-huh.
I think I must have generation gap with you guys because I'm not sure I can I cannot manage my Skype, so I must have left behind with generation gap with all of you.
Yeah, it's okay. We can hear you now.
Okay.
Jermaine, yes, we can hear you well. So go ahead.
For me,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
yes. Okay. I think generation gap is the difference in everything: the attitude, behavior, and value. Behavior is
Yeah.
affected by value because for value, maybe we have different value about use of money,
Mm-hmm.
the spending, the money spending on different value. Young people like to spend on the TV games, the computer games, but for us, we don't like to spend money on the games, right? And we
Yeah.
like to spend money on the investment, but the young people they won't do it.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, absolutely. Okay, so for me, this is between generation gap, like older people, older people and younger people. There have different gap because maybe they have different belief and behavior and habits. So sometimes they have circumstances. So yes, that's my opinion about this generation gap. So Do you have any, or maybe we can move on to the second questions? So what is that?
Okay.
Mhm. Francis, do you have your question?
Oh, okay. The second question: how many years different causes a Yeah, it's very hard to define how many years. Maybe in China, as my age, I was born in 1980s. So my generation, we in China we just my generation we call as after 80s. So and the uh, the younger the generation who was born in 90s or born after 2000 years. So in China, we also use this 10 years, decades to define a generation. So yeah, I can sometimes I can feel obviously difference from these
And
three
the gap of
generations.
age. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Sometimes they communicate. For example, the after zeros who were born after 2000 years, and they communicate. They also communicate with Chinese, but sometimes they use a lot of emojis and symbols. And once I checked a friend, not friend, just my colleague. He was after zeros, so he showed me his chatting message, and I totally don't understand what they are chatting because they use a lot of symbols and other kind of emojis to instead of characters to instead of Chinese words. So yeah, yeah, maybe it might consider it was the 10 years, at least the 10 years.
At least 10 years. Yeah, me too. I think at least 5 to 10 years
Oh yeah.
generation gap. Uh-huh. How about, what's this? Oh, hello, Fahad. Welcome back to our weekly meetup. So today,
Hi,
yeah, we
hi
are,
everybody.
you can say hello to everyone.
Hi, how are you?
We're
Hey, we're good.
fantastic.
Okay.
So anyway, today we are talking about generation gap.
Okay.
So maybe you can follow us. So let me see. How about Tom? What do you think? How many years?
According to scientists, the period of time which is defined as a generation is from 20 to 30 years, because in science, as scientists say, the period of time of generation is from the moment of birth to the moment when the person has his own children. So the period of time from the birth of the person to the moment when the person becomes a parent. So it's a generation, and for it depends on the gender, because women generation is quite is shorter than male, because for women it's from 20 to 25 years, and for men it's up to 30 years. But in common relations between people, this period is too long, because the differences between persons are quite obvious after only 7 to 10 years. So in common usage, common definition, very popular definition is that this period is about 7 to 10 years, like Francis said before. Okay,
Yeah.
that's it. That's for me.
Yes. Okay, thank you, Tom. You really did your research. You
Yeah,
great
yeah.
student.
Excuse me, but when I look up the information, they say the generation doesn't use a measurement of time or years. Actually, the generation just means a signature for the gap. actually is measured for the difference. It means only for the difference, not necessarily mean the number of years.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah,
you know, the questions was how many years difference causes in the generation gap. So I tried to answer what the years, the
years.
quantity of years could be.
Uh-huh. Right. Yeah, I think guys, not there is no what's that numbers of generation gap because it depends the person's behavior. Because sometimes guys, it's either maybe she's young or he's old, but it depends how you expose to the society, how you expose your experiences. So I think we cannot measure by numbers. But if we are talking about numbers, maybe for me 5 to 10 years, but it depends on you, how you expose your surrounding, your experiences. Yeah. So I think it's up to you guys if you are counting numbers or you're measuring numbers. So how about you, Zoe?
Yes. And this is depend on the current situations and depend on the different kind of the countries and different kind of the opinion. It's who was accounting this the number of the generation gap, the who was the yeah, it's in my current situation in my country is the men and women who were the 30s and 20 years old each other. They got married each other 30s and 20 years old. So it was be yeah, it's the every year is the 25 year. Yes, to the every 25 years. So the God's child is one they are 50 years. Their child has the 25 years. So I mean it's the different generation gap is the I would say is the 25 years in my opinion. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, so good judge. Yes. How about Sultan? What do you think? Is there any numbers about generation gap? How many years? What do you think?
I totally agree with Tom. The expert said that the ideal gap is 20 to 30 years. I also read that, but I don't know the factors on which, depending the expert just says that 20 or 30 years gap. But I think these are reducing day by day, just because of technology and our social culture are changing day by day. So I
Yeah,
think maybe it is now 10 to 15 years,
10 to 15
because
years.
yeah, maybe,
Okay.
or maybe less.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
50 years.
of the yeah, of the
15
Yeah,
future.
years.
so quite
Depend,
Short.
it depend on the technological changes, cultural changes that we are facing every day. So it's difficult to set an ideal gap. It's because it's depend on this kind of factor. So I think it's maybe now it is almost 10 years, 10 to 15 years for this situation, but it may change in future.
Yeah, yeah, maybe. Okay, thank you so much, Sultan. Okay, so let's move on to number three questions. What is that?
Mhm.
Mm. Okay, so
I
have
can read
you
this one.
ever, can you,
Well,
Jermaine, do you have?
have you ever feel a generation gap with your friends, family members?
Mhm. Okay, so Jermaine, have you
Most
ever
family
felt?
members, I have gap with my daughters because they are now playing the video game. I don't know how to play, and I don't know how to turn on.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
All right.
They play the player exercise. And then nowadays they have something more trendy because of the quarantine. They have new games to play during the quarantine. I don't know how to play it, even though not know how to turn it off. So I sure have generation gap with them.
Okay, I agree with you. How about you, Frances?
Yeah, we can feel generation gap all the time. From in the family, or in our work, or with in some communication with a lot of older generation. You can feel those gaps. For example, just I talked before. In my office, we have a kid born in after after 2000. Actually, let me. Yeah, yeah. He was born in 2000, and so uh, uh, for me, when I was a younger man, and I also like pop culture. We like our idols, celebrities. From Hong Kong, from Taiwan, or United States. But in those young generations, they like their idols. In China, we call how can we call? We call little fresh meat. Those pretty boys. Uh, they have beautiful
Yeah, I know.
skin, and
Korean
yeah,
also
they
say
look,
this.
yeah,
Korean
and
also
they
say this.
sometimes yeah, and it looks like sometimes they looks like a girl, and but young generations they like it very much. Sometimes I don't understand with those with those phenomena, but I think this is the phenomenon when our older generation they look at us, yeah, when we was young, and we also to to chase the celebrities, to buy a lot of things from our idols. Our parents they do not understand us. Yeah, uh, and yeah, I think for the pop culture it's this, and in other kind of uh, about social society issues. Just like our friends said, a lot in politics, and we have a lot of different opinions, and sometimes yeah, uh, the opinions have how can I say, uh, we have argument in those issues. Yeah, I think this is the when we feel the generation gap.
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you so much, Frances. How about Tom?
The generation gap phenomena is visible, I think, today, especially because it's not my invention, but one of the journalists said that there will be definition BC and AC generation, BC and AC, before coronavirus and after coronavirus.
Yes.
And this this definition, I think, is very good because some generations gap are visible when some historical events are very important. So some historical events can cause generation gaps also. Very important war, for example, or some other crisis can cause division in generations. As for me, I am not a spring chicken anymore, so for me, I am probably the most advanced, the oldest here, so I can see very often these causes of generation gaps, and as I am grown older, it annoys me more and more. For example, I observe a phenomena of piercing or tattoo, and I don't understand people who are doing such things. And the most annoying for me example of my generation misunderstanding is, for example, makeup for some girls, not for all, but some girls are making eyebrows painting. They are very white and they are very strong, and they are simply ugly. But they are not. They are not thinking about it because there is a generation tendency to make these eyebrows like that, and they are not. They are not thinking about is it pretty or not. But there is a master of do such a thing. So, but I don't understand it. These are examples of generation gaps, I think. And there are also issues in culture, because when I was younger, I was accustomed to watch cult movies which were known among my generation. This movie were very popular, and phrases taken from this movie came to the everyday language in my country. For example, it was very famous scene in the movie. There was a scene where there is a restaurant's cloakroom, and guests goes to the restaurant, leaves the coat in this cloakroom, have a dinner, and then go out from the restaurant and want to pick up the coat from the assistant in the cloakroom. And this assistant tells him, I haven't got your coat, and you are not able to do anything about it, and not gives him this coat. And it was very typical situation at the communist time in Poland, where when there was no free market, there was no free services, and customer was treated as a non-must, as a trouble. Customer was a trouble in the communist era. So this was the example, and this phrase, "We have not your coat and you are not able to do anything about it," it is very popular, but even people which use this phrase don't know from what was the origin of this phrase. It is very common example of generation gap. That's all. Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, very good. I like to listen.
The women angry from you now.
Yeah, I like to listen to your story.
Yeah, thank you for sharing, Tom. Okay, so how about Kahan? Can you relate to our topic today?
Actually, I don't know what the guys talk about before I came now. I will say about my opinion. The generation gap, it's important for the world, actually, because we need the knowledge move on, we need the sense move on. The new generation, we can discover a lot of things we couldn't see it before. And I want to answer that question that what do you think about make contact with I think make relationship with this generation, or before or after generation? I think I need the girlfriend or my wife in my generation, because I need her to close to my thinking, to my habits, to my hope. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Fahad, how about Zoe? How about Zoe?
Yes. Yes. In my opinion, I always heard about the generation gap from my colleague at my state department. Yeah, he always said that because he wipe out their kids, because they got married when they get older. Yeah, their wife is 38 years and he is uh, 40 years to each other. So yeah, they got the child. They got the child when the years 45 years. So it's a really different generation gap. Yeah, they worry about the kids in the future, maybe the future because they got retire when they 60 years old each other. So when they are 60 years old, their child maybe the 50 years. So yeah, they worry about their kids, their futures, maybe like educations, many yes, too many things. Yeah, I have about the generation gap from my college. So that's it. That's it.
It's good.
Okay, so thank you so much. So how about Sultan? Do you have any generation gap from your friends, from your family?
All the things are discussed already, and things are very much common in my community also. I want to add one example that is when I was a student, girls usually do not use slang in a public place or in classroom. They treated using slang is a bad thing. But today, sometimes I saw in university, in college, in my country, girls using slang language everywhere. In between girls, between their classmates, between public place, it looks very common today. But in my time, when I was a university student, uh, normally girls did not use slang. They just treated using slang is a bad thing. It's a unsocial thing. But today, I see it's very common. This is one example that I see is common in my community or in my country. And the another thing Tom said and other guys said earlier, that is also very much common in my community.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you so much, guys. Okay. So I want to share for me. I think because I have generation gap with my friends because I grew up in the country, so I don't really expose to many new technologies. So even though as now I having hard time to was that about computer, so I'm still learning on it how to do the PowerPoint, the Microsoft Excel. I'm still having problems about that one. So yeah, and at the same time with my friends also they are very sophisticated, and yes, that Tom told before that they have tattoo in their eyebrows and their eyelids,
Hi,
their
Louis.
yes. So hello Lois. So yeah, so that's for my experience and my generation gaps with my friends. So yes, Lois, they welcome back to our live meetup. Anyway, we are talking about generation gap. So thanks for coming back. Glad to see you here again.
Hi guys, thank
Huh?
you. Sorry for
So,
the late.
we have
Sorry for the late.
Fahad, we have
Okay.
Sultan, we have Frances, and Zoe. Maybe you already met him before, and Jermaine, and also Tom. Okay,
Nice to
so
meet you guys. Nice to meet
you
you guys.
can
Nice
you
to meet
can
you. Members.
introduce guys each other. You can interact with each other, and
Don't worry for that. If you can continue with the topic, don't worry for that.
yeah, we are discussing about generation gap. I'm not sure if
Okay.
you seen our questions. Have you seen it?
No, no. Basically, I was checking the questions, and checking the topic. I didn't know about um, generation gap. Or I know, but basically, I didn't pay attention to this topic.
Uh-huh.
And basically, I don't know. Basically, I believe that um, I think that our big difference between uh, generations are this length, maybe because the internet, the new generations teach us new slangs, the technology. You
Okay.
I don't know if technology make a line to um, a big point to between between technology because everyone right now has cell phones with Android.
Mhm.
So basically, I believe that technology is uh, limiting the generation gaps. That
Okay.
is, I don't know. What do you think about that? Do you think that technology is limiting our difference between generations?
Yeah, absolutely. Because before we don't have any smartphones. You know, guys, I started having my phone when when I finished my college. That time I was 22, maybe. I had my cell phone. So, but this time, even though kids can use smartphones, they're really exposed to the new technologies. So, yeah, there are a bit
Yes, yes.
big gap, our new generation and the older generation. So, yes. So, you have any additional? All right. So, if you don't have, maybe we can go back and we can proceed to our next question. So, what is that, Tom? Can you please read?
Is it possible for parents and children to be friends?
Uh-huh.
I think that nowadays it is possible, it is common, and it is more and more popular in the families because modern families are on the different basis than before. Traditional families were more parental, and the head of the family was treated with great respect, and it was impossible to call for a parent by his name. It
Yeah,
was
always
always
respect.
called as a mother or father, and
Yeah.
even in my country, in Poland, it was a custom many years ago. But it was present the custom that children kissed hand of the parent to show the respect for his parent. And nowadays, it is of course not longer as that, and children are calling
Their
parents
parents.
as a friends on the similar basis. So I think, and also here in Europe. There is no traditional families anymore, but there is a partnership rather than a family because
Mhm.
men and women are partners, not spouse. There are on the very free relationships. Sometimes they are not legal agreements made, so they are free, and also children are treated in very free way, in very friendly way. So it's like that. Okay.
Okay, Tom. Good job, Tom. Thank you so much. Okay, so how about Fahad? Let's move on to Fahad.
Okay, I think this topic it's important and possible first and important because like me, for example, I have a son, 8 years. I take him with me anywhere when I go because I want him learn for me my culture, well, our culture. I want him learn what the right, what the wrong, and then I want him understand me always, and I won't understand him when he say or do anything.
Mhm.
I think it's impossible and it's good for the parents and the sons. That's it.
Okay. So, how about Princess?
Uh, yeah, like Farhad said, um, uh, I have a daughter which was 11 years old, and I try to be her friend since she was young. She was a baby, and sometimes I show uh, um, some cultures from my generations, my ages, and she can accept that, and sometimes we can share ideas um, about things uh, about pop culture about something, um, yeah. But recently the situation has a little bit changed because she since she went to primary school. You know, in China, the students always have a lot of homework and they have a lot of pressure on their study, and in China, the kids will face a lot of competition from her classmates and from the examination, and sometimes she she just play and didn't study hard and kind of fall behind with her classmates, and sometimes the teacher come to me, yeah, and talk about something about our daughter, my daughter, and yeah, and this time I was sometimes I was very angry, and in this case I cannot be her friend.
Friends.
Yeah,
You have to be
and
a father.
yeah,
You have to
yeah,
stand as a
yeah.
father, right?
Yeah, sometimes I need to show some, authorities
Yeah.
to push her.
Straight.
Yeah.
Mhm.
In this case, I don't know what did her thinking. Maybe she hate me. Maybe she don't want to be friend with me. I don't. It's very hard for. It's very hard. I think you need to balance. You need to balance
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree
Okay.
with you,
Yeah.
Francis.
Okay.
Uh-huh. How about Zoe? What do you think? Can be
Yeah.
parents, can be
Yes,
friends.
yes.
Mhm.
This is possible to be friends with parents and children, because the since nowadays the generation gap is the major reasons today. Why parents and children are moving away from each other. So yes, we know the environment have changed, have the lifestyle and the train of mind children, and yes, today generation doesn't like other interfering with in any of their personal matter. That they don't like parents already then, and yeah, they try to tell them what's wrong for them, and they misbehave with their parents, right? So yeah, it's fine. It's the parent mistake or it's called the generation gap. Yeah, I guess generation gap is the basically created by the uh, people themselves. So yeah, they don't stop to their children share their own point of view. Yeah, with the children. Yeah, and yes, the point the parents are just so busy, with their work and job that they don't have time for their families and their children.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah, and this some parents they realize is when they have a huge distance between the kids and parents. So the boy is and this the um, the parents give their children some time from their busy schedule. So it was be no such problem at the time. So yes, as time you need I just you need to ask a friend to your children in order to understand dance more nicely. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. So thank you so much, Zo. How about uh, let's go to Louis. Can you be a friends with your children or with other countries or what? Is it possible?
Well, well, children and parents, obviously they can they can be friends. Sorry, they can be friends. Um, I sorry. I talk about my own experience. I have a teenager son. He's 16 years old, and basically, hey, we have a good relationship, like friends. But I need to put limits between our relationship. Basically, I am a father. First of all, I am a father, and then I am your, I am your, I am his friend. And hey, I think this relationship is good. For example, our relationship is good because I don't know. He can give give me or I don't know, tell me your experience with your friends, with your girlfriend. Basically, I can understand your lifestyle. It's a your lifestyle that I and I don't know. Basically,
All right. Okay. So, where are you, Louis? Okay. So,
Hello.
yeah,
Sorry.
Louis.
Uh,
Mhm. Suddenly you're cutting off.
Dime, Héctor. Dime. Te escucho. Sí.
Maybe can you
Okay.
Louis, maybe you are talking to someone.
Where does the sound come from?
Anyway, so how about Jermaine? What do you think about? Is it possible to be friends with your kids?
Depends
Or
on what's the age of your sons. What's the about the age. If they are too small children, then you have to be a parent. But when they grow up, you have to be friends. So
uh-huh.
for me, my children are grown up, so I try to be their friends. So I talk to
Yes.
them about fashion, about job, and then I will not say no because it's their decision. They can make their decision. So I
Mhm.
can say I cannot use my authority. But when they are small, I am a parent, and I can use my authority. I say you are not allowed to do this. You are not allowed to do that. But now friends cannot say that.
Yeah. Okay, so me too, guys. I have my daughter, and she is 7 years old. I'm very intimate relationship with my daughter. We're very close. But sometimes, if she is stubborn, hard-headed, I always angry at her, and sometimes I hit her. So sometimes she felt like, "Mommy, you're so kind, but when you get angry, you're like a tiger."
Yeah.
I'm really because I sometimes she calls my name something Adeline, Adeline, but just seems like teasing me. And yes, we always playing sometimes, and then but when she's not listening to me, I'm really strange mom. Yeah, and then sometimes I cannot control myself. I sometimes hit her, so I feel sorry for her. Yeah, sometimes we have to limit because they felt like, oh, we're very close to my mom, my dad. They felt like, oh, she's my friend, uh, he's my friend, and then they are not respecting you sometimes. So we have to limit our relationship as a parent to our children. Okay, so
Yeah.
Okay, guys, I have to go to.
Totally understand you.
I have to, guys. I have to go to.
I have to go now,
Yes.
Jermaine.
Yes. See you next time. See you next week.
Uh, oh yeah, so thank you so much, Jermaine, for joining.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you.
Bye bye. Thank you so
Bye.
much.
See you.
Bye. Bye.
Okay, so let's move on to our next question. What is that, Tom? You have?
What do you think about marrying someone of different generation?
Uh-huh.
Honestly, I'm thinking that that could be exceptions, but usually it's not honest relationship because usually when someone older marries someone younger and it's usually man who takes a very younger wife, it's
Mm-mm.
because of his wealth only,
Yeah.
because of his money, and he buys a young wife, and
Uh-huh.
in this way he wants to feel younger. He wants to be in a position as he would be young again. But it's not true, and it could be, of course, exceptions, but usually these situations are not healthy, and someone is suffering a lot, and the other person is in the dominant position. It's not a good relationship, in my opinion.
Yeah. Okay, me too, guys, because I also married my husband and he is Korean and I'm from the Philippines. Yeah, sometimes we have some gap, especially our conversation language barrier because he can't speak English well. So sometimes have some misunderstanding. But I'm lucky because he is kind man and he is very understanding to me. So yeah, I do also follow their cultures because I'm here in Korea. And yeah, before when I met him in the Philippines, um, this is quite a short story, guys. And then yeah, first time I met her because I met him because we have 8 years gap, and I met him and he is very kind man, and that time I was having I don't really feel like I'm going to marry him because he's my first time to meet with foreigners. Then I asked sign from God, and then God gave me a sign. So that time, okay, this man is for me. So I accept his proposal. So yeah, it depends you guys. It's either you have different cultures or different, maybe you have gap or age gap. It depends the people how you handle your marriage. You can be live happy life. So yeah, that's my opinion. So how about you, Frances?
Oh yeah. Um, at first, I don't think 8 years is cause a generation gap. Yeah, and in China, it's very common, and how can I say? In our culture, sometimes we blame in a common situation, just like Tom said, the old guys they married a young wife, and uh, always I think the people always blame the females because they think the female uh, have something wanted to this old guy's wealth, or has some other purpose. And but I think it's yeah, it depends on themselves. If they truly have respect for themselves and between themselves, and can understand, they have common language in their lifestyle, or have their uh, viewpoint in the social value. I think yeah, it's totally okay. And I don't think it's just I don't judge the people. Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking. And in China, in 10 years ago, there's a very popular social issue about one thing, because there's a scientist. Uh, I don't know his English name. We call it Yang Zhenming. He won the Nobel Prize in physics. And when he retired, he went back. Of course, he did his research in the United States, and when he retired, he went back to China and teach in the university in Tsinghua University, which was the top two university in China. And no one expected. And 1 years later, she married a young wife that was only maybe 27 years old. And but do you know how old is Professor Yang? He is 80 years old. Yeah, yeah.
Oh my God, seems like your grandma. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
yeah. So this is a big, it's a popular, social news in everyone. Everyone talk about these things and have their own opinions. But I think if the young lady she preferred this, she respected his professor. Yeah, this old man. I think it's okay. Yeah, we don't judge. We don't judge people.
Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh. How about, okay, thank you so much, Francis. How about Zoo?
Yeah. Yes. I'm not sure as in the right current situations. Yes, it's depend on their mindsets and depend on the consistency about their future life. Yes, I guess most of the women are thinking about their futures, and including the how much money they earn, how much. Yeah, yes. Sometimes they got married without love. So they are thinking about the facilities, the how much money they earn. So yeah, that's time. And this is in my opinion, is that and this the women. So most of the women in my country they consist about the futures, marriage. The they have to get married rather than the his or her rather than his her sorry her. So yeah, yes, because that so some at the time the girl generation is they really consist of the pure generation gas. The yes the women and men are yeah it's what the women I would say the women the 40 years, so they are consist want to the marriage the older than her, so maybe 45 or 50. Yeah, it's not really good for the generation gas for their child. So yeah, I guess the consist of the women always consist of the younger than them. So it maybe it's really good for the children futures. It's the cost opportunity for them, such as I guess education and money. Yeah, Yes, it's my opinion.
Okay. Thank you so much, Sue. How about Louis? You still here? Okay, Louis, can you turn on your microphone?
Okay, let me
Huh?
check, please. Okay, I don't know why. What happened? Can you hear me? Hey,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
hello.
Yeah,
Can you
we
Yeah,
hear
hear
you.
me?
yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay. 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 First of all, sorry guys, sorry for that, but I am working right now, so I am
It's good.
trying to do it.
Yeah.
Is Louis a policeman? Yeah.
Louis.
I think he is working now, so
Yeah.
it's not a good moment for the
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes. Workaholics.
having a sideline us.
This is
I muted him, so
you know what holidays? Is this the Thursday holidays, right? No, you don't, Louis?
Louis, we cannot hear you, Louis.
Turn on your mic.
Yeah,
I
turn off.
muted him, so he is
Oh,
muted.
Okay. Okay.
ah.
Right now. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry for that again. So basically, the people call me to my cell phone, and I can't mute my microphone. Sorry. Okay. So about the question, I don't know how answer this question because I don't know. I I don't know people that they are married with different generations. You know,
Uh,
so I
national.
think that it can be difficult. I don't know because okay, I don't know the the simple.
Huh? You're freezing.
Yes, first connection.
Maybe your connection is bad.
Can
Louis.
you can you hear Louis?
Okay, guys, maybe we can move on. So let's move on to the next question. So, Zo, can you please read? Do you have your questions?
Yes.
Guy, excuse me. I have to go.
Okay.
Sorry, this is prayer time in
Ah,
my country.
yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's okay. Thank you so much,
Nice to see
Thank
you.
Fahad.
you.
And
Thank you for
yes,
your
Yeah.
time.
Thank you.
I enjoy it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
yes,
Thank you.
you can join
Yeah.
us
Bye.
Bye.
anytime. Yes, have a good day. Bye bye.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Goodbye.
Bye.
Yes.
See you.
Yes. Now I have questions. What do you think are some of the advantages and or disadvantages of another generation?
Mhm.
Yes, in my opinion, it's the yes another generation. It could be the younger generation. So there's advantages and disadvantages between the younger generation and older generation. I guess yes, because the younger generation have is nowadays it's easy to understand the language, the different kind of the technologies. You know, yes, yes, they can get some kind of knowledge from the internet and from the technology. But in the other hand, they have less knowledge, personal experience. Is the rather than the older generation. So older generation got knowledge from both. I mean, so it is. I think it depend on uh, the younger generation and older generation. Is the has advantages and disadvantages. Yes, I this. Yeah, that is. Yes.
Okay, so thanks for sharing. So, how about Tom? Do you have any advantages and
Yeah. as people grow older, they are getting more experience. They are more experienced. So the older generations are more experienced than the younger one, and this is the main factor, the main advantage of the older one. Uh, but on the other hand, the older people are not easy to adopt, not easy to fit to the new circumstances. They are very conservative. They are closed to new ideas, and as someone said, it is only possible to invent new thing when you don't know when you don't know that this thing is not inventable. When you don't know that this is not inventable, you invent something. But experienced people know they know that is not possible, so they are not trying exactly. But if someone is new, this person would like to obtain new effects, new things, and this person is trying, and is this new perspective, new vision is a main advantage of younger generations. That's for me.
Okay. How about you, Francis? Are
Yeah, I think yeah, for older generation, they have advantages in experience, life experience, their career experience, and if we can learn some experience from older generation, maybe we can, maybe we could, make less mistakes, and sometimes we don't make same mistakes if we can learn those useful experience. Yeah, for the younger generation, yeah, they're young, so they are always feel energy and they're willing to do everything what we don't dare to do. Uh, yeah, yeah. I think this is the difference between the young and older. Yeah, generation. Yeah,
okay, so I
yeah.
agree,
You?
totally agree with you because you know what, guys, when I go to hospital, I
Mhm.
don't want to go to the doctor if it's young because I
Yeah.
think that doctor has short experience, so I prefer to go to old doctor because that doctor has a lot of
Experience.
experience. I
Yes.
I, I believe this doctor. So yes, but I think, guys, it depends how you. It depends your environment also because sometimes there are old, but they know less than new generation. It depends how you expose to our new technology, and yes, maybe if you have less education sometimes, so we cannot judge that older generation has a lot of experience. It depends the person.
Yes.
Yeah, yes. So that's my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay, so okay, so let's move on to the next one. So we have been talking for more than 1 hour now. So anyway, we only have 9 questions, so maybe we can finish this. Last time we had 20 questions, but we just only finished 10 questions. It was it's too long, almost 2 hours for discussing about those addiction. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, maybe we can finish this one, guys, because we're only four
Yeah.
here.
Mhm.
I have
Well,
time.
too
Okay.
many. Uh-huh. I will read what is that? Where are we now? Number 7?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you talk to your parents or children about everything? What are some topics that people of different generations disagree on? Okay, so can you talk to your parents about your if you have any problems? Yeah, for me, I can talk to my parents whenever I have my problems, but I'm the one who solve it. I just ask them some maybe opinions, but I'm the one who handling to and decide for myself. Yeah, they can give me some advices, but yeah, in the end, I'm the one who decide for myself. I don't want to solve for my problem. And yes, that's my opinion, guys. How about you,
Yeah.
Tom?
In my case, you know, my parents are not here, both, unfortunately. So, as I remember, it wasn't easy to talk to them about my problems, and it is not easy also for my son. As I see, he has better contact with my wife because he speaks with her about his problems. It's easier for him to talk to her, not to me. I have better contact in more professional things, not family things, but I think it's normal. So it depends, of course, about because. You must work on this relation from the very beginning. If your relation with your children are good from the beginning, it is
Yeah.
easier for them to contact you and to ask you about their problems. So it's the relationship with the children are the result of all the activity of your work on it, and it depends heavily on this thing. So that's me. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. How you start from the beginning, how you nurture your kids, your relationship, how you handle your kids. Yeah, it depends on both of your parents and children. How about Francis?
Let me see. Yeah. For me, I don't talk too much in my real life, so don't even mention I talk to my parents. And I think for a boy, and sometimes if we have trouble and we don't call for our parents and we don't want to figure out by ourselves, and so basically, I don't tell everything to my parents. If I tell something to my mom, he and he
Told,
maybe, yeah,
told you.
yeah. I remember 10 years ago, uh, I had a trip with my friend. We are hiking in a mountain, and there's one trip is very dangerous, and you need to climb up from the cliff, maybe 100 meters high,
Oh my,
and yeah, we just climb up the cliff without any protection. Yeah,
what?
this is super dangerous. So yeah, I think you never told this to your parents, because the parents, they always want you to be safe and be, made less mistakes and to be healthy, and they want you good. So maybe sometimes they will overprotect you, and you will lose a lot of opportunities. So yeah, uh, for me, that's me. I think maybe my daughter, she just like Tom said, she's very close to his mother, and not just me, because sometimes yeah, some blame her for her study. Yeah.
Is it? Yeah, okay, thank you so much, Francis. How about Zoe?
Yes, for me, yes, my parents are now 65 years old, and now that sorry, just to their first week, and I am now 40 years old, and my elder son is 11 years old. So my parents are miss of the 25 years guys. To me as my children are the 29 years gap. So yeah, as I'm the I mean that I am middle class, you know. Yes, my parents are they can use the internet, and they can use the modern device, the modern gadgets, you know. So yes, I also can use with the technologies rather than my era son. So Yeah, they astounded that they can use pay with different kind of technologies and different kind of the gadgets and modern gadgets. So sometimes they are always right. They are always right. Sometimes they complain to me. Sometimes I learn from the some technology from them. So sometimes we agree and disagree about the sometimes using the internet and some kind likes of the it's yeah it, at the time we are really the generation gap is really different. So yeah this is the I did the generation, younger generation is always thinking about the right. So yeah, that is.
All right. Thank you so much. So, all right, guys. Yes. Okay. So, where are we now? What number? Number 8. So,
Yes.
Tom, can you please
Okay.
read? What is that?
Let me read.
Uh-huh.
And number 8 is, are people from the older generation always more wise and correct in their ways of thinking and choices? Why or why not?
Uh-huh.
So, okay. How
What do you
about
think?
Tom?
I think that I said it before in the previous question that I said about experience at innovations that I would not repeat this again. So I think that's for me.
Yeah, yeah, yes. Not all the time older generation are wise and correct everything because yeah, it depends how they expose to our new technology, how to expose our surroundings. So we cannot judge even though they are old or young. So we cannot say that they're always correct and wise person. Sometimes they're you know they are unwise person even though they are also already old. How about Francis?
Um, yeah, I think the generation is not problem. It's not
Mm,
the main issue. I think it's more come from the person's environment of their grow up, of their life experience, of their education,
yeah, yeah.
and their wisdom. And if this guy, this old man has good, how can I say, I can't say the man has good education, he is a good man, or he's a you know but sometimes in China, in the old time, uh, uh, how can I say, from the 1950 to 1980, in this 30 years, uh, this generation people, they grew up in the communist, uh, by the a lot of influence by the Communist Party, and they have been through the Cultural Revolution, a lot of politic and events, and they have totally different mindset with young generations. And sometimes, and when this group people, they getting older, and I don't think these people have more wise and correct in their choices. Uh, in nowadays China become, the people in China become rich and they can go out for everywhere, traveling in everywhere in the world. But sometimes they cause a lot of problems. They don't care the public rules, and they always noisy, and they they doesn't respect their cultures. I think in uh, in, in China, we call these people, we sometimes, especially these old ladies, we call this uh, the old mother, uh, the big mother, and this is I can I this is not worse for those people. because they have no well education, and they don't have the rules in the modern culture. They don't respect. They don't realize this. So I don't think the generation is the age is problem. Yeah, it's depend on their life experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah. Good job, Francis. How about Zoe?
Yes, this question is the discussion is it's clear that neither young or old generation must be responsible for the generation. There is in the Chinese environment faced by the different generation. That's called generation gap. It's all we have to hold one of the two generation responsible. So yeah, I must choose the older generation as they have greater power to shape the thinking of their children, and the era course also takes special care to educate younger generation on their path, and it affects on their thinking. Yes, I did.
Okay. So thank you so much. So what is our last question? So what is that?
And what
What
roles?
role what
Okay.
role does technology change play in creating a generation gap? I think that it depends, as usual. It depends of the person, because there is a key story in our Breakthrough Challenge, the first edition. In the first edition of Breakthrough Challenge, I met a man who was from Hungary, and he was a professor of brain, something connected with brain. He was not brain surgery, but some research on brain, and uh, he was 85 at that time.
85.
85, and he was connecting with Instagram, with Skype, and
Oh.
I from this time I met
Uh-huh.
him. I met him better, because we become friends, and he connects me from time to time, and we chat. And his English is perfect, because he was working in States. He speaks very slowly, like me, or even slower, and but he has problems, healthy problem, but his computer knowledge is perfect, and I wouldn't say that his age is so advanced, 85. So it depends on the person. Sometimes person finds excuse that I'm so old, I cannot cope with this computer technology. It's too difficult, but they don't want to learn. Simply, they want to go. They want to make an effort. So sometimes it is only excuse that technology is too difficult.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just only excuse. So they don't want to do, or yeah, to avoid. How about Mrs.?
Okay. And yeah, I think sometimes the technology is kind hard for old generation to handle well. But sometimes if they can handle it, actually it can reduce this generation gap, uh, right? And uh, in family, we have a family group, and sometimes we can share some interesting news, and uh, our families, my parents or some of my relatives, and we can talk about those interesting news. Yeah, and the old our old generation, and they prefer to participate in our discuss. And no matter uh, in my generation or my nephew, my niece, sometimes younger, and from my parents or my aunt, this old generation, we can yeah, share news, and I think the technology can help us to communicate. And it just sometimes they always share some fake news, and yeah, I don't want to yeah, tell them this is the fake news.
Yeah. How about Zo?
Yes, yes, technologies the change the people the around the people all around the world is what the parents are challenged due to rapid release of the chain of the technology. Yeah, it's may lead to the relationships. Yes, and then and it's less communication and understanding because of the rapidly change of the technologies, and it's we have less spare time with their families and their parents and the kids, the children, and yes, we have most opportunity to meet people from all around the world, including like that, and yes, we have more time. Yes, nowadays this, with the advanced gadgets and technologies, yes, different kind of the people and different ages, and yes, it's due to the change of the technologies. Yeah, it really yeah, it advantages and disadvantages is the to the change of the technologies. Yeah.
Yeah. Because too much exposing to the new technology, sometimes you don't have enough time to spend with your family.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that because me too, I'm exposed too much in the social media, so I don't have enough time to spend my daughter. So sometimes she's complaining, why, mommy, you're always working all the time. This is weekend. You have to play with me. So
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
and technology changed our lifestyle. So it keep us preventing us from our family sometimes, our time from our family. Yeah. Thank you so much, guys. So,
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
if you
Yeah.
have any suggestions, maybe you can talk. I
So
really,
I sent you a private message just a moment ago. If you can read it, it would be beneficial for all of us.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yes.
yes. Thank you so much, guys, for your time. I really appreciate that you are here joining on this our conversation.
Yeah.
And supposed to be today, our co-host is Lee, but she's absent. Maybe she's busy, so that's why I have to be here. Anyway, if I have time, I always be here, guys. But this month, she is our task giver, so she's the one who gave us this topic to discuss with our weekly task. So
Yeah.
yes,
This.
for you.
Yeah. This weekly math is the makes me to improve our the English skills, and not only improve our English skills and but also getting knowledge from different kind of opinions, and
Yeah,
yeah, it's really really essential to get knowledge each others and sharing knowledge each others, and yeah, it really beneficial meetings, right?
yeah.
Yeah, thank you. It's lovely to meet each other and lovely to discuss with your opinions and my opinions, and yeah, thank
Mhm.
you guys. Yeah, really
Yeah,
appreciate. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I can see you, Francis. I think you are tired and sleepy. you're,
Hey.
you're just preventing your yawning. I can
Oh,
see
thank
you.
you. And this is the first time I participate in this group call, and we have a lot of good friends here, and very deep subject to talk about, and I can learn a lot. I can absorb a lot of fresh ideas from you. Yeah, and I'm very happy to see you guys. Thank you.
Thank
Yes,
you.
yes. Thank
Yeah.
you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you.
And Yes, Tom. So thank you so much also.
Thank,
And I
thank
think
you, thank you, Adeline, for hosting because it's
Yeah.
it's very tiring thing to host for
Yeah.
half an hour and manage all the things. Thank you so much
Yeah.
Yeah.
for this.
yeah, my pleasure,
Yeah.
guys. So yes, maybe we can wrap up now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. So see you next week, guys. Bye
Uh,
bye.
See you. Bye
Yeah,
bye.
uh,
yeah, bye bye.